Fresh talk to him.
This is Spec Weekly. I'm Cutcraft, delivering your dose of IOTA hopium. Join me as we take a look at what happened last week.
Read the disclaimer, baby.
Let's go. What we're looking at here is the most popular wallet in crypto. For the uninitiated, this is Metamask, and it sucks balls. And what I'd assume is the most basic of basics in being able to delete an account you don't want. Well, guess what, fam? You can't do that unless you remove Metamask and reinstall it. Do you think that normies are gonna like dealing with shit like this? Well, that answer is no. What we need is something sexy. We need something flexible with the potential to get your vegan barista's nipples hard. Real hard. We need Bloom. Bloom is a wallet developed by the core team who brought us Firefly. This core team has spun out into their own for-profit firm, and it's their ambition to create a modular cross-chain wallet, starting with Shimmer and the Shimmer EVM. Today we're going to take a look at what this wallet feels like. We're going to go in fresh, guys, because I've never used it before. But before we do that and test out some of the functions of the Bloom wallet, we're going to listen to some sound bites from Charlie Varley, who was masterfully interviewed by our wonderful IOTA poet, where Charlie talks about his ideas for where the wallet is headed. So let's get started. And we'll start with the Bloom wallet's current focus and ideas for expansion in the future.
Our initial focus is very much on IOTA and Shimmer. Like, we've been part of this community, at least I have, for the best part of 6 years. The team has been heavily involved in IOTA for a number of years as well. And our focus initially is exclusively on IOTA and Shimmer. But we believe that what will actually help the IOTA community a lot is to stop being so isolated from the rest of the Web3 ecosystem and actually provide one wallet that both supports IOTA, but also the Ethereum ecosystem, Solana ecosystems, et cetera, et cetera. So this is something that we'll be doing over time. And I think it's just important to let the community know that this is based on intentions that will actually be very beneficial to the community. Because, you know, sometimes you talk about multi-chain, people are like, oh, whoa, what's happening? Where's the focus on IOTA? But it's actually a positive development, I would say, for the IOTA ecosystem.
And now, touching on Bloom's vision to become that all-in-one package.
You then look at Bloom. Bloom's scope is much more expansive. So our vision is to build the most easy-to-use wallet on the entire market. And with such an expansive vision, there's room for all sorts of different things you can include within the wallet. And that doesn't just extend to the core layer 1 protocol, right? So the first thing of note is that Bloom will combine the full IOTA stack into one wallet. So you have Shimmer EVM, and then in not too long, IOTA as well. And that will create a system where you won't need to have 2 app versions for Shimmer and IOTA. And rather soon, you're not going to need to use Metamask for DF interactions. You can just do everything through one application.
And now, interestingly, Charlie talks about using the wallet as the hub, instead of navigating to various websites to access dApps.
If you look at conventional wallets in the wider Web3 ecosystem, typical model is something like Metamask. It's an extension-based wallet. You have a limited feature set within the wallet itself, and you don't spend a lot of time within the wallet. You're actually meant to spend most of the time in the dApp, and then the wallet is just a tool to sign transactions, essentially. Because we're a native desktop app, we have a lot more room to play with, which means that we can actually integrate a lot more in the wallet itself. So that means adding third-party integrations into the wallet and having them as features. So looking back at IOTA's history with Firefly, there's things like staking and voting. Those are the first couple of unique additional features beyond the core protocol. But in Bloom's case, this will be a far more extensive set of features. So the first 2 that we're going to be looking at are fiat on-ramps and swaps, kind of classic crypto activities, right? The need to buy and sell tokens within the wallet and also swap between different tokens. And the way that we're going to be integrating those fiat on-ramp will be with a fiat on-ramp provider, on-off-ramp provider that has global access. So vastly simplifying the route of onboarding for new users in the IOTA ecosystem. I know that it's very difficult to buy IOTA and Shimmer at the moment. It's quite a painful process. So that will very much simplify that. And then the second is swaps. So integrating a DEX from within the IOTA ecosystem into Bloom, and over time, expanding that further. So, as more and more DEXs arrive, and as we expand the number of tokens available in Bloom, that would move from standard DEX to DEX aggregation. And yeah, this model then just extends further and further. So I've mentioned the idea of encapsulating essentially a DeFi hub within the wallet as one of the possible areas that we expand this third-party integration mentality further.
Now the IOTA poet asks a great question about a fiat on-ramp, or in other words, buying IOTA or Shimmer directly through Bloom.
Yeah, okay. And you mentioned fiat on and off ramps there. Now, I know our American brothers out there, they're struggling right now to get hold of IOTA and Shimmer at the time, and many other jurisdictions as well. So are you suggesting that in the future they could just buy IOTA or Shimmer direct through Bloom?
Yes, so the way that this would look like is we will be integrating a fiat on-off ramp that, we've been speaking to lots, but we have a pretty clear idea of which one we want to go with. And they initially source their liquidity from things like Binance and KuCoin, etc. And IOTA is listed on those exchanges. So as soon as we have IOTA support, we can start looking at the fiat on-off ramp for IOTA. Shimmer, we're awaiting the integration with Binance. So I think Shimmer, as everyone here knows, needs to expand to more chains, and the fiat on-ramps source the liquidity to more exchanges, and the fiat on-ramps source their liquidity from those exchanges. So it'll be a little bit of time before we add support for Shimmer, but initial focus will be the ability to directly buy and sell IOTA and Shimmer from within Bloom.
And now we wonder, could Bloom overtake Metamask?
And so will Bloom interact with Metamask, or will it replace it?
It's actually going to replace it. So initially, and I'm talking about for like a matter of weeks, you'll need to use Bloom and Metamask, because obviously the main thing that people use Metamask for is connecting to a DApp, right? So you have like OpenSea open in your browser, you connect your Metamask, you can send transactions, etc., etc. When Bloom launches, it will have full asset support on Shimmer and Shimmer EVM. So you can send tokens from layer 1 to layer 2 very seamlessly and back very, very seamlessly. But at launch, it won't be able to connect to a specific DApp in the browser. That's a feature that we're working on right now. And what it will look like then is that you actually don't need Metamask in the stack, because as soon as Bloom can connect to DApps in the browser, Metamask no longer really serves a role anymore. And you then have a really nice situation where you just have one single wallet for everything IOTA related.
And touching on the point before, using Bloom as that hub to connect to DApps, Jamie asks a great question about how our ecosystem will integrate.
Will there be partnerships, i.e. with Shimmer C, to enable in-app trading?
Yeah, we'll be partnering with DApp teams in the ecosystem for various different things. So you obviously have swaps, and we'll be partnering with DApp teams to integrate swaps directly into the wallet. Then the natural evolution of that is to be able to provide liquidity directly from within Bloom. And yeah, over time, we're just going to look to integrate as many different community projects in the wallet. So I guess there's two types of integrations. There's like a full integration, which will be where you're actually using that functionality directly inside Bloom. And this will be kind of like a curated selection. Like we'll be really making sure that we pick the best and most appropriate DApp teams for those use cases. And then you have kind of the more general integration, which is not actually integrating the DApp inside the wallet, but featuring them in the wallet. So we intend to have over time a DApp catalog where it essentially allows you to view all of the different dApps within the IOTA and Shimmer ecosystems and just open them directly from Bloom. So you imagine what this looks like in practice. Someone comes into the IOTA ecosystem, they're like, oh shit, I have a ton of research that I need to do. And you're like, actually, no, you don't. All you need to do is download Bloom. And then within that wallet, they'll have everything they need to get going. They have the on-ramp, they have the dApp catalog, they can see all of the different dApps in the wallet that they want to interact with. You know, they click on a dApp in the dApp catalog, it opens it in the browser, establishes a connection with Bloom, and then, you know, they're just in the cycle of using that dApp. So yeah, this is what we want to achieve with Bloom, is just remove all friction, make it very, very easy to interact with dApps in the ecosystem and also discover them. I think like a big problem in Web3 is discoverability. And we don't want this problem to exist for IOTA. We want the projects to be available and visible from within the wallet as well.
All right, my brothers, let's get started. I'm going to go in it fresh. I have never used Bloom before. And I'm going to open up and engage with Opera again. This isn't an advertisement for Opera. I wish they would. I wish someone would pay me. And you know what? I'm starting to like, for the second time I've used Opera, I'm starting to like the interface here. No, it's sleek. It's new. Okay, thanks for updating, Opera. Speed dial. Look, I'm just going to click and search for Bloom Wallet. Let's see what comes up. Well, the first result is Atomic Wallet. Okay, it's not what I'm looking for. Second one down is an Artesian wallet, by the looks of it, from mahia.com.au. Not to give away my location. And just beneath that, we've got bloomwallet.io. So let's click there and redirect. Bloom Wallet. Bloom Wallet Web3, blossoming. Guys, straight off the bat, I just got to say, I love the visuals. I love this design. It's very in right now. But I don't like sharing my cookies, so I'm going to decline. Being on a Mac, it's automatically identified that I'm on one. And I apologize to all your Linux and Microsoft users. I regret, and I apologize to all your Apple people, but I regret this Mac. I like the hardware, I like the design, I just don't like the OS, you know? Sue me. Download. I don't know, I just grew up. I've been using a Windows machine since I was like 6, so it's a bit hard to adjust to change, even though I've had this for a year now. Just let it download. Australia, the world's most mediocre internet, eh? Bastards. Guys, now that it's downloaded, and before we continue, make sure you always verify where you're downloading the wallet from. Make sure it's always the official account. And if you're that way inclined, have a look at the checksum. Make sure it's authentic, and you can do that by visiting the GitHub. But I can't be f***ed right now, because I'm not going to be transferring or using this wallet for a large amount of money just yet. But when I do, I'll be sure to take those safety precautions. Safety first, guys. It's the equivalent of using a prophylactic, but prophylactic for Web3. Okay, let's install the wallet. I'm just going to click on the little show in Finder icon, show you what I've downloaded recently. Actually, I'm going to blur that out. Actually, I'm going to blur that out because there's a lot of NDA stuff here, guys. So there you go. But what is an NDA is the install file for Bloom. Double click. And if you're unfamiliar with Macs, this is how you install shit. You click and drag the application into the applications folder. All right. And once in applications, we can see it here. And again, double clicking on Bloom. Just going to confirm here and click open. And we can see Bloom here is loading up for the first time. I'll quickly. And here we are again. So let me just talk through. I feel a sense of newness. I feel a sense of potential when I look at these graphics. I love it. A new journey awaits. Confirm you've read and accepted the privacy policy. Guys, I always read these. And let's begin the setup. Our very first step is to choose our network, and we're going to be choosing the Shimmer network. But I can see at the bottom here it says advanced configuration, connect to any network with custom settings. That's incredible. And I think that relates back to what Charlie's game plan is with the Bloom team, to ultimately enable cross-chain integration. But for the sake of our ecosystem in today's episode, we're going to look at Shimmer. Continue. And I saw that they announced just yesterday that you can use your Ledger Nano. But I'm just going to create a new profile and use a mnemonic phrase for it. So I'm going to go ahead and click new profile, then go down and click continue. I'm going to store my keys on Stronghold. And since the IOTA Foundation is a non-profit and developing everything is open source, they can just port over all their work that they had previously done into this new setup here with Bloom. Continue. Okay, now the phrase pops up. It's the 24 words that we're all familiar with, right? Okay, I'm going to write these down and use the magic of editing to skip right past the minute or two that it takes me to do it. Okay, and we're back. Now we're going to continue and verify that I know what my mnemonic phrase is. And now it's just a matter of clicking the right word in the right sequence. Okay, when you've got your recovery phrase all input and it matches up with the mnemonic that you've written down, then you're good to continue. There you go, we're verified. Let's get started. Now we've got to put in a password, and I'm pretty sure this is what ties up to your Stronghold. So anytime you want to confirm a transaction or restore your account, this is the password that you're going to use to verify that it is in fact you who is doing this process. And because this is just a trial run, I'm not going to put a very strong password in, but for your main account, make sure you put something that's real secure. You know, something like the name of your dog, the name of your child, maybe even your own name. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm being a prick here. That's nice to know. It's very weak, but that don't matter. Like I said, this is just a trial run. Oh shit! It won't even let you put in something that's very weak. Okay. How secure do they want it? Let's try something with the same DNA that's a little bit more tricky. Well, the Bloom guys are all about security, aren't they? Let's try my super secure one. Okay, yeah. Interessant. All right. That's pretty. You know what? I do feel good about that. I feel good about that because they're looking out for us. So they're forcing us to be secure. That's good. Be as creative as you like. You can change this later. Bloomification. How about that? Continue. Set pin. Again, guys, set your pin something that's really secure. Maybe something like your phone number. Hey, maybe even your date of birth. How about that, guys? Again, I'm just kidding. I'm being a prick. Be secure and safe with your shit. Continue. All right, Bloom is ready. Let's enter Bloom. Look, before I do that, geez, I'm going too fast. I love this little animated character. Check him out. Yeah. I just really love the design, man. Whoever you got on board, guys, this is the design that's really in right now. That 3D soft rounded look. But it really fits, I feel, the wallet and what you guys are going for. So you've got communication on a design level here. Enter Bloom. And I remember the Firefly, the little, remember when we first got staking and the coins would drop into the guy's hands? You know, those little animations are just so dope. Okay, my first experience of Bloom. Let's have a look at this interface. And it might be a little bit crowded with the shit background. Let me just close shit off. How about that? Let's do that. Okay. Maximize a little bit. And let's just take a look at the interface and see see what's going on. We've got our main account, which is account 1, and I've got no funds. Hey, story of my life. To the right of that little panel, we've got something that says Shimmer, okay? And we've already got the Shimmer EVM. I think it's already set up and ready to receive funds. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit taken aback by that. I wonder if that really is the case. So we're going to test that out, probably as our first test case, I think, because that's pretty amazing. Because we're all used to sending Shimmer around, but Shimmer EVM is quite new to us. Alright, so we've got a very simple send and receive option. And I wonder if the send and receive option automatically then asks you, would you like to send or receive to Shimmer EVM or to the actual Shimmer mainnet? Showing here all of our activity, our sends and receives. Click on portfolio, I wonder what that is. It shows the market cap of the token that you're holding. That's friggin' awesome. And I wonder, yeah, cool, alright. So then it'll also show you how many you've got available as well. Guys, that's great. It's just such a sleek, simple interface. Wow. Okay, cool. We're going to take a quick look at the collectibles tab here, which I'm thinking are NFTs. And it says here, no collectibles found. Deposit or receive your first collectible. All right, I'm going to see if I can send the NFTs that I bought on Shimmer C over to this wallet. I want to see if that works. Going back into wallet. All right, let's do the very first test, which is to send shimmies from my Metamask, which is on the Shimmer EVM, over to my Bloom wallet using Shimmer EVM. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, so I just want to do things through intuition. I'll let you know my stream of thinking was, if I go over to the address, will I be able to copy it? And sure as night and day, yes you can. So I'm just going to click copy to clipboard. So I've copied my Shimmer EVM address here. And if you guys remember, I was using Opera. So we'll open up Metamask in Opera. I'll type in my super secure password. Metamask doesn't give a shit about your security. Yeah, don't care what's new. Okay, and we've got 2,000 shimmies in here. And I'm going to send, just as a test run, let's send 139 shimmies over to the Bloom wallet. So quite easily, all we've got to do here is click send, paste the wallet address. And guys, remember I told you last time, always double check that you've got the right address. I'm just going to go by the last 3 characters here is 18D. We'll jump back into Bloom real quick. We'll say it's 18D, 18D. Great. Okay. Yep. We're good. Amount. What did I say? 139, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 139. It's $5. Gas price. How many guays? Guys, you know what? I don't know guays and shit. So I'm just going to say, yeah, just charge whatever you want. I don't care. All right, click next. And we're just going to confirm that transaction. And the transaction fee is going to be like 0.021 of a shimmer. It's minuscule. All right, let's confirm that transaction. You'll see there's an option there to speed it up. And that means that you can sort of give it more gas, give it more guay, and it'll transact faster. But hey guys, we are on a very performant EVM that is very cheap at the moment. And as we can see, the transaction has gone through. Jumping back into Bloom. I wonder if I have to refresh for it to show up, but look, I'll just let it sit for a minute or so, and then if nothing pops up, then I'll refresh it somehow. I'll figure it out. Believe it or not, I'm a very impatient boy, even though I've been in IOTA for 5 years waiting for a pump. I'm going to click on the option here and say sync accounts. Let's give that a go. Nah, that's not what I want. All right, well, I had to log out and log back in for it to show up. I'm going to try one more time. Let's see. Make sure it's copied. Let's go back. Open up Metamask. And send. Send another 100. Click next. Confirm the transaction. that was faster than the time before. Okay, let's jump back into Bloom. Well, hey. All right. I guess the first one took a while, and then the second one was lightning fast. My goodness. I'm gonna try that again. Metamask. Send. Copy the address. Send another 100 shimmies. Click next. Confirm. Alright. Back into Bloom. Alright guys, look, if you use Bloom for the first time and you send it a very first transaction, it might have to record it. I can see here it says initial balance. It might have to record it as the very first transaction, which makes it do something different and something a little bit more special. But then every subsequent transaction is lightning fast. That's amazing. Ooh, getting exciting. Okay, well there you go. Okay, well now I want to see if I can send some Shimmer from the Shimmer EVM over to my Shimmer account here. Okay, so let's click send and see what happens. All right, select a token here on the Shimmer EVM. Yep, continue. And the recipient, oh, don't tell me. Oh, I should be talking through what's going on here, but I think it's this simple. Let's do it one more time. I want to send some Shimmer from the Shimmer EVM over to my Shimmer account. And from what I've discovered, we can do it in the wallet. So I'm going to click send, and I'm going to click the Shimmer EVM account here. I know it's Shimmer EVM because it's the only network that I've deposited tokens to. So I'll click Shimmer EVM, click continue, and then the recipient is going to be the Shimmer mainnet, right? And I don't even need to copy and paste my address because, but you surely can, because it already shows up when I click the drop down as my account. Click continue. How many shimmies do I want to send? Let's just send 138. Continue. And let's confirm this. And remember I said before, guys, that password that we put in, anytime you make a transaction confirmation, you got to go in and put in your password. And you can get the f out of town. That is simply amazing. Hats off, guys. That is amazing. If you could see my shirt right now, I got little tents going on here because this is a game changer, man. Being able to swap between networks so easily, because I'm projecting, right? Think about when projects start developing layer 2s on top of IOTA and Shimmer, obviously, but let's just say, or even let's just say you're a degen and there are 3 dexes and each dex has got its own layer 2 because they want to be outside of the Shimmer EVM. For some reason, let's just say they've got their own token. And one of these dexes offers better farming opportunities. So you start farming, you gather that token, you swap it for some sort of stable coin, and then you can send it through to the layer 1 and hold it on the layer 1. Because there's an automatic wrapping and unwrapping of that token between anything that's built on top of IOTA as a layer 2 and IOTA's layer 1. It's starting to click for me. It's starting to click because, you know, we'll sit here and we see the price pumping, we see the bull market starting. And I don't have much exposure to other ecosystems, but I feel like there aren't many that can offer it the same way that it's being offered here on IOTA. And it's giving me confidence again. This is really good. This is really good. All right, with that excitement out of the way, let's take a look and see if I can move an NFT from my Shimmer C account over to here to the Bloom wallet. Let's give that a go. Go over to Shimmer C. Yep. Previously searched for it. And again, guys, don't just jump around. Think about it before you click, hey? I'm probably I'm probably going to be one of those guys that gets all of his funds drained from his wallet. Not such a big deal. I've hardly got anything anymore these days, guys. But there you go. Like, okay, so over to the top, clicking the drop, hovering over the address, clicking my NFTs, and it loads up. It loads up too. I got myself a subby, and I've also got myself a Shimrack. I got myself a subby, but being in Australia, I missed out on the deeper fair launch. Why do you guys always go with a fair launch at 4 a.m. my time? All your NFT launches are at 3 a.m. my time. So thanks guys for really caring about your Oceania and Asia partners. We really appreciate the care that you put in there. I'm just kidding, but a little bit serious. All right, I don't know what to do here, okay? Okay, I'm just gonna click the NFT here. And I'm gonna click transfer. Okay, this is really intuitive. Guys, Shimmer C, big kudos. Everything is just so intuitive and the interfaces are so nice and load up so fast. So I'm gonna click transfer. Oh, don't tell me it's this easy. Yeah, it is. All right, back into Bloom. Copy my EVM address. Paste it. And confirm. Please confirm the transaction in your wallet. Confirm. And there we go, the transaction is confirmed. I'm gonna click close. Open up Bloom. Oh, open up Bloom again. I can see here. Oh no, that's not it. I'm gonna click collectibles and Feck. Okay, so I had a quick chat with Charlie, and he said it's because ERC 721 isn't supported by Bloom yet, but it's expedited and it's one of the issues they're going to tackle next. So your NFTs will be displayed in the Bloom wallet very soon. Just a reminder guys, this is the very first public release and it's not the full final version. Guys, Bloom needs our support. Go ahead and download the Bloom wallet. It's still early access, so it's not the first full release, but they're getting very close to it. And you saw how easy it is to transfer your shimmies from the Shimmer mainnet over to the Shimmer EVM. And look, we've only got 2% of all of our Shimmer transferred to the Shimmer EVM. I know we're very cautious about our funds because we've been wrecked for so long, but there are opportunities to be had. As we've seen with a number of the fair launches where the tokens have gone up, there are farming opportunities and all that good stuff. And maybe, just maybe, I should do some episodes around how to go about doing all that stuff. But the very first step is downloading Bloom, transferring some Shimmer over, well, whatever you're comfortable with. Hey, I'm not telling you what to do. This is not financial advice, but it's a suggestion, is to just test it out. Get some of your Shimmer, send it over to the Shimmer EVM. And unfortunately, we still have that extra step with the Metamask to connect to sites like Shimmer C. But yeah, that's where we sit for now. And I'm feeling so excited because I'm projecting the idea of what we're seeing right in front of us, this Shimmer to Shimmer EVM with IOTA and IOTA to IOTA EVM. Just use your imagination a bit. Stablecoins start coming on, a token that's got a constant value, which will open up more opportunities when it comes to DeFi. And a lot of yield opportunities come from having a stablecoin in your ecosystem. So guys, like I said, 2% of the Shimmer has made it to the Shimmer EVM. It'll be nice to see those numbers get up. And when we think that the bull market is just around the corner, and we feel like we've missed out because the price didn't pump the same way that Solana did, we've got to take a step back and look at the ecosystem that's being built up. When you use a tool like Bloom and you see how easy it is to do this core functionality of sending your assets between chains, you start to get that breath of confidence and you start to realize that, hey, even though we're not top 50, maybe not even top 70 at the moment, there's a valuable infrastructure that's being built. And the next step that we as a community have got to do is get out there and spread the word as we have been on Twitter. If there's one thing about us is that we show up. But what's important is that the IOTA Foundation, or TAYA now, takes this gem that they're building and really emphasizes it with some hackathons or something. I don't know what marketing would look like. I mean, we always talk about marketing, but I don't know how you convince those retail dollars to invest in IOTA or invest in Shimmer outside of them being inspired by seeing massive price movements. So it's going to be interesting to see what they've got up their sleeve. And yeah, I totally get it. I was feeling down when I saw we weren't moving with the rest of the market over this past month. But it's healthy to take a step back sometimes and realize that, hey, cool shit is being built. And we're so lucky to have people like Charlie and his Bloom team involved in our ecosystem. So, if you ever find yourself feeling down, all you have to do is remember $4 EOY. See you next time.